Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Expert CRE Secrets podcast, also Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. It's a special episode where we have one of my good friends and business partners. We'll be talking all things eXp, commercial and residential, and some of the current trends that we're seeing right now in the brokerage world, explaining what eXp model is and the exciting opportunities for any real estate professionals, M&A advisors, business brokers, out there, and residential agents as well. I'm here and excited with my co-host Matthew Stewart. We go back a long time. In fact, we go back over, I think, almost about 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
With basketball, with when he was coaching at William Jessup University as a coach, and also as now we're real estate partners here at eXp. And so Matt sold over, I think, 500 homes, and he comes from a long lineage of a family who had Coldwell Banker experience and top agents there, and so much more. In fact, I had Matt on the show not too long ago, told his full story. But I'm excited to have him here today, and we're going to be talking a little bit more and more on this subject today. So, Matt, how you doing today?
I am blessed. I'm doing phenomenal. It's a new year. I'm excited. It's amazing. I kind of thought the market would start to slow down with inflation going crazy and then saying they're going to raise interest rates, 3 times in 2022. And I'll tell you, I don't know if I told you this, Brett, and everybody else listening, that I wrote an offer for a buyer. It's kind of a little side topic here, but it's just so interesting at this moment in time. $499,000 was the list price, and we were competing against multiple offers. And the winning bid, I found out, which was not us, and we came in at 555, and we didn't even sniff it. It came in at 600,000, all cash, no contingencies. 101,000 over asking price, and it was a 1,499 square foot home.
Where was it located, Matt? And Fair Oaks. And what was the year it was built?
Oh gosh, that
probably 60s, 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a brand new home or anything like that. I mean, it's just, and it wasn't anything that's like super duper special necessarily. I mean, it had a converted garage, and they added a garage in the back, and you really couldn't park in it, and had a pool. And yeah, I mean, it's just wild. You go, holy cow, 600,000.
The value of representation, right? And the value of competition and driving that price up. That's kind of a fun one. And why were the sellers selling? What was their reason?
I think they're going out of state, which a lot of sellers in California are looking at doing. And hey,
Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Nevada.
Yeah, right.
Which one?
Exactly. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't go into those details. It wasn't my, I was representing the buyer, and
got it.
I didn't have much time with the listing agent because the poor thing, she got laryngitis the next day because she literally was on the phone from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Wow.
And she goes, "You're my last call. I'm worn out. I've been on the phone all day."
That's incredible. So, yeah, it's the market we're in, and it's not, I've heard the stat. It's not so much that values are going up; it's that the value of the dollar is going down. Right. In fact, over the past 6 months, I had an interview with a gentleman yesterday who's very smart. He said that there's been, out of all the money that's ever been printed in the U.S., 40% of it's been printed in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
So to think about inflation, right, and think about the value of the dollar, it's also another reason for cryptocurrency, which is a different topic for a different day.
I want to learn more about that.
But today we're going to talk about eXp commercial, eXp model. Hey, Matt, for those who don't even know with some of the current trends going on with eXp, I want you to touch on some of the larger brokerages that are looking at this maybe for a second time, and reimagining just even what how to underwrite this thing, right? If you're a real estate agent, if you're a real estate broker, or building a team or wanting to build a team, what's kind of the newer trends that you're seeing now that you're a real estate coach, you're top at eXp? What are you seeing? What are some thoughts on just overall how to make ROI sense of the eXp model?
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting when we were getting going on, reaching out to folks, whether it be individual agents or teams, large teams, brokerages around the nation. And in the beginning, it was, well, the model's not sustainable. I've never even heard of eXp. You guys aren't even in my marketplace. I don't see any of your signs. Well, those days are pretty much gone unless you're getting into some remote areas, and eXp hasn't infiltrated there yet. But now the conversations have switched to where they believe the validity is there in the model. They've seen it. I mean, how can you argue? I've been involved now just over 2 years. I want to say 25 months. And I was trying to remember, I was talking to my wife when I came on board. I think there were 16 or 18,000 agents. We'll say 18. And now we're at 75,000 agents. We grow around 900 to 1,000 or 1,100 agents a week, every week. And we had our big eXp convention in Las Vegas. And, one of the hot topics, which was not there prior, but is definitely now, is healthcare, believe it or not. A lot of these real estate companies do not offer healthcare. And if they do, it's, they add a button on their website that says healthcare, and it's just another extra step or process that someone has to go through just so the company can say they have healthcare. But eXp actually has healthcare, and agents that would say, well, my wife or my husband is at a corporation and we use their healthcare. It's pretty tough to beat. We go, hey, why don't you get a quote? It's open season here, or enrollment season in December. Why don't you get a quote? And I come back where they're saving on average $800. I mean, it's significant, and it's the same coverage, if not better. So that's been a real kind of value add as of late with eXp in the last year or two. The other aspect is larger teams and brokerages we're definitely on their radar now. Whereas before we weren't as such. And I think maybe it was the aspect that they needed to have, you have what's called the early adopters, right? Those will get the 3D television and pay $4,500 to be the first ones to do it. And then there's time. I don't know where the laggers fall in. They're at the end, I think. But anyway, then you have the second wave where people go, okay, yeah, I think I'm jumping in. And I think we're in the second wave now. The first wave, typically people that stick through all the difficulties of growth and, all the different potholes and, gravel roads and dirt roads and all this, so to speak. And now we're basically paved the on-ramp onto the expressway is the second wave. But those that kind of weather the storm on the first wave do very, very well typically. But you got to have some real fortitude and stick-to-itivity and real belief. But now we're in the second wave. And the second wave typically is a bigger wave. There's more people. The masses are now really buying in to what's going on. And that's why we've shot just in 2 years from, say, 20,000 to 75,000, which is unbelievable growth.
In fact, the fastest in history, right? I mean, there's never been a real estate brokerage in the history of real estate that has grown faster, right? And on top of that, agent own, all of the other amazing aspects of that. And I think that's part of why it's growing faster, because if you look at the model, are you an owner of your brokerage, or are you renting and building someone else's dream, right? Now, as a 1099 independent contractor, right, at Marcus Millichap, when I started out at commercial real estate in 2006, I was building Marcus Millichap's dream. And for the people that I would bring in and coach or mentor or partner with, I might get a little bit of a cut or a split for a couple. They'd either go to another brokerage, right? Or B, they'd be my competition, right? The next few months. And you're going, wait, I brought him in, I coached him up. I'm not getting ownership. I'm not even necessarily getting commissions shared. I'm just, I was a really good cheerleader and recruit for other people, but I'm not getting a part of that, that ownership. Right? I'm still renting the business. And so you connect that with healthcare. You connect that with just the sheer amount of folks now, 75,000 worldwide. It's a staggering wave, which leads to, what's the biggest objection you're seeing right now, Matt? Like, what is it that people, or is it the same type of thing of, why isn't everyone doing it? What's taking people so long? Give me kind of the feel for that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say there's two objections that we're hearing. One is, oh, I'm too late. I should have got in back, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever. And, I'd say, yeah, that would have been a great time to get in. You may not be in the business still today at eXp if you did get in back then, because it was, gravel roads and potholes and rough road and frustrations. And this is, I mean, there were times it was taken, and this was after I came or before I came on. So I didn't get to experience any of this. I say get to experience, but I mean, it was taking 3 to 4 weeks to onboard agents, 3 to 4 weeks. Now we do it in a day. I mean, I've done it in less than 24 hours. So, and there was delays in getting paid and things but that was all in the past. So yeah, it would have been a good time to get in if you would have stuck it out during all those, heartaches and tough times. And the people that did are doing very well today. But like I said, the second wave is bigger. So they're not too late, even though they think they are. It's actually a perfect time because now people are seeing real estate signs where they didn't before 2 years ago. I don't even know who you are. What's eXp, and all that. And then I think the other thing that we're getting, let's see. So we have, I'm too late. Oh, and the other big one is I'm not a recruiter, which I always kind of laugh at a little bit, but I understand where they're coming from. I mean, if that's you who's listening to this, I get it. And you know what's really kind of sad and kind of interesting in a way is that eXp is perceived that, oh, that's only good for you if you're a recruiter. And it's so not true. It couldn't necessarily be farther from the truth. I'll give you an example. We have a rock star realtor in our area, in the greater Sacramento area, and she is not a recruiter. It's not her deal, but she's a dynamite realtor, and she loves selling houses, working with buyers and sellers, and does a great job. And to the tune of about 50 to 70, transactions a year. So she's what's called an icon in our business. And an icon, just so you know who are listening, you cap at eXp, which is about $3 million in sales typically. And then you close an additional 20 units after you cap. So, average sales price, 500,000, you're capping in 6 deals. You do an additional 20 deals. So 26 transactions or closings for the year, you're going to be an icon. Okay. Big deal. What's icon? Well, it is a big deal because the 16,000 that you pay in cap, you actually get it back returned to you in stock. You get 16,000 in stock. Now, here's why I broke all that down so you understand. This gal, her name's Luann, absolute sweetheart. She is an icon every year. She's been in the company now 4 years. She iconed every year. So the first year that she was there, she's gone through the 3-year vesting period, and now she can, cash out and spend that money or whatever she wants. Brett, do you know how much that award of 16,000 is worth today?
I don't know, but she probably needs a deferred sales trust where she cashes out and pays
she
all
might
that tax.
Need a deferred sales trust. That's for sure, my man. Yeah, it's 1.2 million.
1.2 million. So she's just selling like she normally would, and she did.
Selling
and now
real
that
estate.
stock is 1.2 million. Is that without recruiting anybody, or is that with people?
I mean, here's what's funny. People go, oh, I'm not a recruiter. They organically attract people. Mm-hmm. They're not focused on recruiting. They're focused on buyers and sellers and doing what we do as a career as realtors. But you know what? People, when you're closing deals, the agent on the other end is going to ask you, oh, hey, Brett, you moved over to eXp. I mean, what's the story over there? What's it like? I mean, you were at, Century 21, you were at Remax, and I thought you're happy. And you say, well, gosh, I was happy. But you know what? Someone, I got all the calls like you, are getting hounded, and I finally listened and I got the straight scoop. And wow, I couldn't unsee it. Once I saw it, I came over, and it's been life-changing. Right.
Yep, absolutely. And by the way, eXp Commercial, which we're going to touch on here in just a few minutes, we'll go through a little slide deck. Good. It's just getting started, right? eXp, well, we were grateful for the residential folks, right? Because they're definitely separate worlds, right? A lot of ways. There's some crossover, but a lot of separation there. And it just started about a year ago or so. Residential, they went through all the bumps and bruises over 11 years ago. And yet we get to jump on and start the model right now. And so for early adopters, entrepreneurs, especially established commercial real estate brokers, there's never been a better time to get into eXp Commercial, because you get all the pain that they've been through. It's basically it's past us now. We
figured it out.
We figured it out, and we can just run with it. And then and the second thing is you're looking to build teams, and you rather build teams. I don't think when I think recruit, I don't think so much as recruit as build teams, right? If you're helping people build their business and do more deals, do more transactions, whether that be with something like having commercial experience, multifamily experience, 1031 exchange experience, deferred sales trust experience, marketing, negotiation, underwriting, ownership, whatever that value that you bring and that you can help and instill those secrets and mentor and coach somebody. Guess what? They're going to grow their business. They're going to level up, and you're going to be that guide and that coach to help them do that. So it's not really recruiting as much as do we align strategically and financially and with the gifts that we've been given to go make an impact and help more people out. And I think it's also
Absolutely.
cool to be able to do things together. You know what I mean? Like I remember my buddy growing up, we played football together, and we just loved doing everything together. We'd go to the movies, play video games. I remember we used to sneak into movies. That was our big thing. Like if we could like figure out a way to
Right.
sneak into movies.
Yeah.
And whatever he does, he's in sales, he's in medical sales. I'm trying to get him to come into real estate. And I remember just talking to him the other day. I'm like, hey, it's whatever it is, whether we're playing sports, competitive something, selling something, it's not so much the widget or the thing, it's doing it with people that you really enjoy doing it with. And that's the other aspect, which I fell in love with eXp, was these are entrepreneurial business real estate folks, right? As well as
100%.
technology, as well as out of the box thinkers, as well as leadership and growth. And I'm going, oh wow, these people are my people, right? And that's the really cool thing about eXp, and why I think that if you're listening to this and you're again even a business broker, that's the other thing too that's even newer than just commercial brokers, M&A advisor. In fact, Matt, I just had the number 10 M&A advisor in the nation just joined. Her name is
Wow.
Michelle Seiler Tucker.
Yes.
She's got a best-selling book. She does on average, she does hundreds of millions of dollars per
She's
year
a
in
rock
M&A.
star.
Yeah, rockstar. And she
Yeah.
joined, and her biggest thing was, hey, I don't want to give up my brand. Like I got my own thing. I'm like, yeah, we don't want you to give that up. Like
Yeah.
still be a rock star, align with us, right? Allow me to bring my gifts at the Deferred Sales Trust as well as the EXP model. And let's see how this can excel your business and help more people,
Mm.
help you help more people. And so, yeah, any thoughts on any of that before I get into the presentation here?
Well, I mean, gosh, it's amazing that she, would come on board. And I mean, what a win for EXP, really. But obviously, EXP is bringing something to the table for her to say, yeah, I'm going to align myself, my brand, and everything that I've built throughout my career with EXP. I mean, gosh, that's a big win. Way to go on that.
I'll
And
mention one other thing on that too, though. By the way, she got
yeah,
on a plane and she flew to Texas to get with
yeah,
me, you who were there. You met
yeah,
her,
yeah,
right? A couple
yeah,
other business partners. See Tony Robbins. And, she took her pride hat off, and
yeah,
she's awesome. She's
yeah.
really, and she said, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna be humble to see if there's something different, even though I've been in this industry and this business for years, at top of my game. And she goes, I'm gonna go take a look at this. And she did, and that's what changed. It's a lot of things to listen to podcasts like this or videos like this, or see something online, but it's another thing to come and experience it, right? And be
Mm,
close to
yeah,
close. And by the way, next week we have a meeting that's coming up at the Granite Bay Golf Course,
that's right.
and
Yeah,
it's a superstar panel, a lineup, and realtors and top professionals in the industry talking about real estate, doing more deals, trends, as well as the EXP model. For those who are listening, you want to learn more, you can connect with me or Matt. Matt, I
yeah,
think you're at matthewstewart.exprealty.com,
yeah,
matthewstewart.exprealty.com. And
yeah.
with me, it's expertcresecrets.com, expertcresecrets.com. But yeah, any last thoughts on that before I jump into the presentation, Matt?
Well, I mean, that event, that's a great plug. It's a dynamite event. It's just rock star listing agents giving you the goods. And sure, it's an EXP event, but the great thing about our EXP events, we don't go and, bang on you about EXP from stage. That's not our deal. We want to lead with value. We want to help you become a better realtor, do more sales, reach your goals. And so we always lead with value, bring in top talent, which there's very much so top talent on this panel. It's from 10 o'clock until noon in the Sacramento area in Granite Bay. It is sold out. I don't know if you know that, Brett.
It
It
already
is
sold
sold
out.
out,
Wow.
but wait, there's more. We actually have some tickets set aside. I know I have just a few that, for the right person, because there's literally people clamoring to get into this event, calling, go, hey, next second, I'm holding on these, 2 or 3 little extra tickets that I have, just for the right person. So reach out. We'll see what we can do to get you in there. If we can't get you in there, there's other events we have, both virtual and live, that are going on. We're really big in regards to education and leading with value. That's one of the, I got to tell you, I don't know if maybe you speak to this, Brett, but just how collaborative of a culture eXp is, like none I've ever experienced in my 20 plus years in the business. And I've been with multiple companies, and eXP is head and shoulders.
100%. And that also goes not just in business or real estate, but also, I played basketball in college, been sports teams and been a part of other coaching programs and other things that are leadership based. And I've never seen a more collaborative, open to new ideas, open to growth, leadership, rocket ship type of company and culture, so, and I was a super skeptic, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
Matt.
you were.
I said, Matt, I'm no way I want to join this thing. Like, what is this thing? I heard about it 5 years ago. I dismissed it. No, commercial, I'm Deferred Sales Trust. I'm not residential. And he said, no, Brett, it's different. Listen, and I said, okay, I'll listen. And I watched the video, the model explained video. And I said, you know what? And I kept asking even more questions. And I said, I'm not going to recruit anybody. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to go sell real estate and sell the Deferred Sales Trust. And I just watched, and I just was like a fly on the wall, just absorbing the meetings, the masterminds, everything you're talking about, leading with value, helping people grow your business. And I said, oh my gosh, they figured it out. This is the Netflix, the way of doing things. And it's not Blockbuster. And now they've aligned strategically to do that, which we're going to talk about right now on the commercial model. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen.
Let's
do this will be kind of a rapid fire. We're going to work through this this presentation here. And so we have eXp commercial. And we like to say, get more from your commercial real estate brokerage. Again, how do you get on the right side of the quadrant? If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and become an owner, right? Without having had all the overhead, all of the liability, you still do your deals. You still can keep your brand. Okay. It's powered by eXp commercial, and it's really built for commercial real estate, business brokers, and mergers and acquisitions. Okay. And the key thing is the unique model incentivizes agents and brokers to stay loyal to one another and to help us all grow this together. And they do this by taking what has already been done in just about every industry, but mainly Blockbuster, Circuit City, and traditional real estate brokerages. Blockbuster to Netflix, Circuit City to Amazon, and we like to say traditional real estate brokers to eXp World Holdings, okay? And it's one brokerage. It's not a franchise. So eXp World Holdings is one international company changing the industry. And so the typical franchise, you have costly overhead, you have franchise and desk fees, you're locally confined, like just to your small geographical area, smaller referral network. You have inconsistent growth incentives for minimal opportunities for ownership, if any, right? I mean, Marcus Millichap never gave me any ownership opportunities. Limited technology and support, few tools and support resources versus the eXp model, which is a cloud campus environment, no desk fees, and you can work from anywhere. They have live training, over 50 hours of live weekly training online, real-time support, specialized support teams ready to help, international collaboration, more and more referrals, more and more connection, becoming more of a world, connecting all of the brokers in one world. And then the opportunities for stock share and revenue share, which I like to say are like cash flow for your brokerage. Not just cash flow from selling real estate, but cash flow from building teams, okay, and helping others to sell real estate, as well as getting stock as you sell, which is pretty remarkable. And what it's turned into is literally the fastest growing real estate brands in North America, probably even the world, in the history of real estate. This one says 70,000 plus agency. I think it's up to 74, 75. And it's truly remarkable. Also, what's never been done in commercial before is the cap. There's literally a $20,000 cap. And so I'm closing a transaction, Lord willing, here in the next few, about a month or so.
Nice.
And the commission is going to cap. And then there's 100% upside from there. Like it's no 50-50 after that, or 60-40 or 70-30. So it's an 80-20 commission split. But on a $100,000 commission, I'll pay 20. But then if I make another 500 or 600,000 in commission, I pay no additional cap. In fact, I can qualify for Icon, of which then I get my cap back, and I get it back in stock, which is pretty remarkable versus the traditional commercial brokerage model, which could be 50-50 for the first 100,000, maybe 60-40 up to 250, and then you're tiered away and you're starting over every year. Now we do start over every year on this side, but once you pay 20,000 in 1 year, that is the total cap, and then the rest of it's 100%. There's some transaction fees, some small ones. Now the monthly cost about $250 a month, $250 per deal for broker review fee and $100 risk management fee. So there are a little bit more fees on top of every deal that closes, but it's not even close if you're looking at a side-by-side comparison of that. And how they were able to do that, by the way, is they cut out a lot of the middle management, right? And they really focus on the agent who's closing deals and helping other agents close deals. And they also cut out a lot of the brick and mortar costs, a lot of the high-end lease costs, and they give that back to the agent. In fact, they have a 50-50 model where 50% of it's going to go all the way back to what's called revenue share or cash flow sharing, right? And the other 50% is going to go to the company to help grow the company and create even a better way to sell real estate. By the way, some of the tools that are involved in the $250 a month monthly fee are Build Out, Reonomy, Agent Hub, Skyslope, AR, CRE forms, enriched real estate data. These are some remarkable tools for CRM, automation, building out marketing packages, underwriting deals, finding owners. Reonomy and enriched data are kind of like a co-star, right? And so that's for $250 a month. I mean, some of these things by themselves alone can be $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a month. Like Agent Hub has automation built in that if I had to do it with Active Campaign, it could be $1,500 a month alone. And so by enabling all of these things to be together and do it at $250 a month, the eXp commercial model becomes an investment and not an expense on day one. And there's some other tools too that we work with. And the key is we're a technology company and we're like an open source platform where we're trying to bring in some of the best of all commercial real estate. Yardi, Bervides, Crexy, Office Space, RealNext, the Brokers List, you name it, we're trying to do with everything at eXp commercial. So that being said, you want to touch on a little bit of the equity opportunities, Matt, or add anything to what I just said?
Yeah, I'd love to. So there's 5 ways that we earn stock ownership in the company. The first way was when you close your first transaction. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Brett, is it the same stock payout as the residential side? So on the residential side, you close your first deal, it's $200 of stock. Is that the same on commercial?
It's all the same. The difference is like $20,000 versus $16,000 capital, a little bit more. And just $85 a month is $250 a month.
Yeah.
For
but very different tools. Very different tools.
Yeah, very different tools. Yeah, they are more expensive tools, generally speaking. Although KV Core is an amazing deal of itself. That can be $1,000, $2,000 a month if you buy it by yourself.
Yeah. KV Core, if you buy by yourself, $600 a month, but a team, I think you're referring to the team, is $1,200 to $1,500 or up, depending on how big your team is.
But, yeah, you know better on the residential than I do on the commercial. Yeah.
But okay, so there's 5 ways we earn stock. Okay, the first way is you close your first transaction every year after your anniversary. You get $200 of stock. You cap every year, you get $400 of stock. You attract another agent, whether it be residential or commercial. For example, a residential agent could attract a commercial agent. A commercial agent could attract a residential agent. And when that agent that's been attracted closes their first deal, they're going to get $200 in stock, just like you did. But you, as their sponsor, and that's just the terminology we use for, you have to name the person that was really the reason why you came to eXp or learned about it or helped you get to that stage. So that would be your sponsor. The sponsor would get $400 in stock. The fourth way is our agent equity program, which I just love because it makes so much sense. And so I was sharing earlier about Luann. She was an icon producer, which is the 5th way that we earn stock, where you get your $16,000 back in stock once you cap plus 20 closings. But she also opted in to the 4th way, which is the agent equity program, where they take 5% of your commission and they invest it back into eXp stock, and they give you a 10% discount on that stock. So, and the great thing about those 5 ways, 4 of them have to be vested, right? 3-year vesting period, but the agent equity program, no vesting. You could literally close escrow on your transaction, do the 5% of your commission, get a 10% discount, and the very next day turn around and sell it on the open market and, make your 10% profit. But let's say it jumped up 10% in a 24-hour period, which has happened with the stock. Now you've just gained 20% on your money, right? And I mean, it's pretty awesome. So those are the 5 ways that we earn stock. But Luann, just to finish my story, she was an icon. Plus, she was doing the agent equity program. She's doing 60 deals, on average or so a year. Her total portfolio, the last time I talked to her, was at one point over 4 million. I think that was the high water mark at one point, was over $4 million in stock. Now, I tell you, listening to this podcast, tell me one other real estate brokerage out there, whether it be commercial or residential, that you would get to have ownership in the company and do what you normally do, leasing buildings, selling homes, etc., that you would obviously get your commissions, but then on top of that, you get the added bonus of ownership in the company with a stock that's just shooting through the roof.
The answer is 0. And also too, it's business brokerage, it's commercial real estate brokerage, obviously agents, and it's business brokerage and M&A advisors, as well as residential realty. So it's all of us, right? And then you create this team of professionals that you can refer everything to. It's one brokerage. Okay, one brokerage. Well, now let me back up. It's One World Holdings. eXp Commercial is a brokerage. eXp Residential brokerage. They did separate that, separate divisions, because they are different business models. And the leadership is amazing. eXp Commercial, former Marcus Millichap agent, who then opened up BRC Advisors, grew that to 150 commercial agents. We're doing $2 billion in annual sales. Then he headed up Sperry Van Ness Global Affiliates, and he's fantastic. That's James Wong. He's fantastic. And so these are all we could say dream team or Hall of Famers that we're trying to bring in to all of us do this together. And that's really the neat part about eXp Commercial. So I'm going to keep going here on the share plan. And then I touched on this a little bit. And this is basically just cash flow for your real estate. Okay. Brokerage. As you sell and help others sell, eXp wants to encourage you to share their secrets to build and help people build more business, do more business, and help others build. And that's really the beauty of this model, is that it's almost like you're creating individual franchises within eXp Commercial, which allows you to get cash flow or revenue sharing on production. Okay. And so this, to me, creates longevity and loyalty. It creates additional cash flow opportunities. It's not, you don't have to recruit or bring people in or train people or build a team. But if you do, you get rewarded, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And so this kind of breaks down the whole revenue share plan and how it works. But, 40, 50 producing agents over any 3 to 5 year period can produce hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million or $2 million in recurring revenue cash flow that you can retire and never have to close another deal again, right? Your expertise for every agent that you're bringing into your commercial brokerage at JLL, at Cushman Wakefield, at Colliers International, at CB Richard Ellis, at Marcus Millichap, everyone you're bringing in, you're developing and you're helping them to build their business and their knowledge. That business is cash flowing at a certain point. And the question is, that cash flow going to go to the brokerages that brought you in and trained you to, which God bless them, you got to be grateful for them, right? Yeah. Or is it going to go to you and eXp, right? And after you retire, what happens to your book of business too? Versus eXp, it can continue. It can continue, and they can do that because of their caps and because of the lower overhead. They have that much more margin. Same thing. Remember, Blockbuster versus Netflix. There's a reason there's no more Blockbusters and there's Netflix out there. There's a reason Circus City went out of business and is Amazon, and that's what's happening. And you have a chance to jump onto this right now. We want to encourage you again to go to expertcresecrets.com and or connect with Matthew Stewart, matthewstewart.exprealty.com to learn more. So continuing on, we mentioned no desk fees, work from anywhere. You can build the team national. I have a multifamily broker out in Washington, D.C., another one in Miami and Southern California. I'm here in Sacramento, and everything is very, very streamlined and technology-based. Of course, 50 hours of live training weekly, which is amazing. Cool. We have this thing called eXp World. It's kind of like the metaverse, right? It's the new way of doing things. We've been doing it for a while. And also your stock is a part of these other things as well. It's eXp World Holdings, which includes some of these other things like Verbella, which is cool. They're not just brokerage, it's also technology that a lot of big industries are using these days, and we're on the forefront of that. So all that being said, we're running out of time. We talked about healthcare, some other things. We're going to be back on here more and more, and we want you just to kind of get a flavor for this and get a feel for where the opportunity could lie for you. And so if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to Matt or I. Matt, could you remind our listeners one last time what's the best place for them to find you?
MatthewStewart.exprealty.com, or they can always call me on my cell phone, 916-659-5646. That's a good one to reach me on.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt, for being here. And thanks everyone for listening. And if anyone wants to connect with me, you can go to expertcresecrets.com. The cool thing is, if you're with me and Matt, you get us both, right? Commercial, residential.
That's right.
The Deferred Sales Trust. That's kind of the value proposition, as well as our other business partners. They're amazing as well. And if you want to take advantage of the next week's event in Granite Bay, please get with me and Matt so we can get you that ticket. Okay. Again, that is live in person January 12th on Wednesday, January 12th, 10 a.m. to 12 at the Granite Bay Country Club golf course. All right. Thanks everyone for listening.
Breakfast provided, they said too. So, hey.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to come ready. Hey, thanks, Matt. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll talk to everyone.